All right, folks, what just went from concerning to downright alarming in 24 hours is a massive winter storm that's going to slam over 150 million people from Texas to the East Coast starting tonight. The European model, GFS, and Canadian are all locked in agreement now. And when that happens, you better pay attention because this is the real deal. We're talking multi-day event with heavy snow, crippling ice, and an Arctic blast that'll send temperatures absolutely tanking across a huge chunk of the country. States of emergency are already declared in Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas, with more coming as this unfolds. Drop your city in the comments if I don't cover it, and hitting that like button helps this critical info reach more people who need it. Let me break down what's about to go down, when it's happening, and what you need to do right now, starting with the central U.S. where this cranks up first. Winter storm warnings are plastered across Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and northern Texas, with ice storm warnings further south where freezing rain is the main threat. This is a two-phase system. First wave kicks off this afternoon, then a more intense second round develops Saturday night into Sunday. By this afternoon, freezing rain and snow rapidly ramp up across western Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, and southern Kansas as moisture overruns that Arctic air already locked in. Tonight we're looking at full-blown winter storm, heavy snow bands across Oklahoma, serious freezing rain into Arkansas, and a nasty mix of sleet and ice across northern Texas. Oklahoma City and Tulsa, schools shut down today because that ice threat ramps up fast this afternoon, making roads skating rinks by evening. Arkansas is ground zero for the snow-sleet-ice battle, where just 5 to 10 miles means the difference between mainly snow or mainly ice. Little Rock sits smack in that transition zone. Latest data points to heavy snow transitioning to significant ice. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This forecast gets messy. Memphis and western Tennessee, ice is your biggest enemy, over a quarter inch expected, and that's where power grids start going down. Dallas-Fort Worth, after one of the warmest starts to winter on record, Mother Nature's about to remind you she doesn't forget. Freezing rain moves in Friday night. The DFW Metroplex could see ice thick enough to snap tree branches like toothpicks and yank down power lines. Potential blackouts lasting days. Kansas City, you're on the razor's edge between heavy snow north and crippling ice south. Even a 20-mile shift totally changes your game plan. Wichita and southern Kansas, get ready for 6 to 10 inches, while northern Oklahoma could stack up 8 to 12 inches, making this a storm folks will remember for years. When snow and ice team up with Arctic cold like this, Mother Nature plays for keeps. And this storm's moving at a snail's pace, letting precipitation hammer the same areas for hours. Shreveport and northern Louisiana face a potentially crippling ice storm, while Jackson, Mississippi could see its worst winter weather since that brutal 2021 ice storm. Now let's shift to the eastern U.S. because this is where it gets wilder with cold air damming, which I need to explain. A massive Arctic high funnels frigid air down the Appalachian Mountains, creating a wedge of cold air trapped against the mountains. Here's how devastating ice storms form. Moisture rides over that cold wedge, melts in warm air aloft, then bam, refreezes when it smacks the cold surface air. The European model shows a potentially catastrophic ice storm for the southeast, particularly the Carolinas, developing Saturday into Sunday. Nashville and Middle Tennessee, I'm watching this closely because models are flip-flopping between snow and ice, but either scenario is going to be a major problem. Charlotte, this setup keeps meteorologists up at night. We're seeing signals for a nasty mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Raleigh and the Triangle, ice is my main worry. That cold air damming wedge will be rock solid when moisture arrives. Screaming freezing rain over snow. Columbia and the South Carolina Midlands, I'm keeping extra close tabs because I know how vulnerable you are to ice. This could be one of your biggest storms in years. Atlanta and northern Georgia, you're on the southern fringe, but don't sleep on this. Freezing rain is definitely possible in the northern suburbs. Washington, D.C. could see several inches of snow mixed with sleet plus maybe a quarter inch of ice. making this a real mess for the nation's capital. Philadelphia and the I-95 corridor, heavy snow is your primary threat, while Delaware and southern New Jersey need to watch for freezing rain up to 1/10 of an inch. Pennsylvania's looking at mainly snow with several inches expected, though the storm's still cranking through Sunday evening, so totals could climb higher. Boston and New England could see absolutely impressive totals, with isolated spots potentially stacking up over 20 inches. Let me geek out for a minute on why this setup is so potent. We've got a massive ridge into Alaska while an intense trough dives into the central and eastern U.S. What that means for you is simple. Some of the coldest air in 5 years is heading straight for your area. And when this much cold collides with moisture, winter weather becomes inevitable. We're looking at a monster Arctic high over 1,040 millibars, driving frigid air all the way into the deep south. Temps will run 25 to 30 degrees below average across the northern plains by Friday. Wind chills crashing to 30 below zero, some spots approaching 60 below by Saturday morning. This deep cold pushes into the south, and if you lose power from ice while dealing with single-digit temps, that becomes life or death real quick. Projected lows Tuesday morning show teens pretty far south, single digits in upstate South Carolina and northern Georgia, sub-zero as far south as Middle Tennessee. Ice accumulation forecasts are flat out alarming. Widespread areas from Dallas-Fort Worth to the Carolinas potentially seeing a quarter to half inch of ice. Let me put this in perspective. It only takes 1/100th of an inch to turn roads into skating rinks, and most southern roads aren't treated. Some areas could see over an inch of ice, and I'm going to be blunt. That would be absolutely catastrophic for power infrastructure. Anything over a quarter inch snaps tree branches and yanks down power lines. We could see outages lasting a week or more, and I've forecasted long enough to know that's not hype, that's reality. Power outage risk is highest from Dallas-Fort Worth through Memphis and Nashville, plus across the Carolinas near the Appalachian Mountains. This hits western North Carolina particularly hard since they're still recovering from Hurricane Helene, making extended outages even more devastating. For areas getting mainly snow, we're talking widespread 8 to 12 inches across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kansas, with isolated spots near 18 inches. St. Louis closer to 6 or 7 inches, while Chicago and Detroit on the fringe may only catch an inch or two. Sometimes winter has a twisted sense of irony. While Oklahoma digs out from over a foot, Chicago, usually the poster child for brutal winters, will barely see anything. Go figure. Now here's something that might surprise you. This storm could be just the beginning. Next week's pattern shows another significant winter threat. Models are lighting up with potential for the deep south into southeast. Some guidance suggesting snow could reach portions of Florida. Yeah, you heard that right. The pattern we've entered is one of the most favorable for widespread southern winter weather I've seen in years. This isn't just a one and done situation. So let me tell you exactly what I'd be doing right now if I were in the impact zone, because the window for prep is slamming shut fast. Stock up on essentials for power outages. Flashlights, batteries, non-perishable food, water. Charge every device and figure out how you'll stay warm if power goes out. Bring outdoor pets inside. Cancel travel Friday through Sunday if possible. This is absolutely not a storm to be out driving in. If you must travel, pack a legit emergency kit because getting stranded in these conditions could turn life or death fast. Check on elderly neighbors. Fill bathtubs with water in ice areas. Get prescriptions filled now. And if you've got kids, check your school district's plans. If you've got a generator, fire it up and make sure it's running right. But never run generators indoors because of carbon monoxide danger. Know where your water shutoff valve is in case pipes burst. Preventing water damage could save you thousands down the road. For businesses, brace for 3 full days of shutdowns Friday through Sunday. Particularly brutal for small businesses during an already challenging time. The combo of ice weighing down trees and power lines plus extreme cold creates the perfect storm for prolonged blackouts. And that's what keeps me up at night. Don't underestimate this just because you're not used to winter weather. Even small amounts can shut down entire cities when infrastructure isn't designed for it. Bottom line, If you live anywhere from Texas to the Carolinas to the Mid-Atlantic, take this seriously and get your prep done now, not later. The exact impacts will vary, some areas seeing heavy snow, others getting slammed with crippling ice. But the signal for a major, widespread winter storm is loud and clear. This has all the makings of a multi-day event shutting down a huge chunk of the country, affecting tens of millions with dangerous travel and life-threatening cold. I'll be glued to the models providing updates as new data rolls in, so make sure you're following for the latest information. Details will shift over the coming hours, but the overall signal for a major winter storm isn't budging. Drop your city in the comments if you want more specific info. I want to hear which areas matter most to you. This isn't just another winter storm, folks. This is the real deal. Winter's about to make a statement nobody's going to forget. I'll be back with updates throughout the day. I'm here to answer your questions, so stay safe, stay warm, and stay prepared. Thanks for watching, and seriously, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. We're all in this together.